Well, there's a lot going on. Big week for us with the big trip going across the country and all, um, against a team that we've seen play well in 3 games, really, and played really good teams. Lost to New England, lost to Buffalo in a shootout, and then came back and played great last week against Jacksonville. Um, it's a really nice job that Brian's doing with these guys and turn this thing this fast. And you can see them playing sharp and playing well, and they're smart, and it's a good club. So it's a good challenge for us. Again, we have to manage the trip and do a good job with that. It's not unfamiliar to us, but it's always a challenge. We got some guys. There's some questions, about what guys, with injuries and things like that, and who's going to come back. We're going to manage this week, and hopefully the best order to give these guys a chance to bounce and do a nice job recovering. And we're expecting that we'll be okay, but there'll be some question marks for you. It's a big week too in the COVID thing, with the first real challenge in Tennessee translates to Minnesota, and potentially translates to Pittsburgh and all that. There's a lot going on here, and I'm sure the whole league is on alert, as we are too, just trying to prepare and be ready to minimize the impact if something does happen. And we've been talking about it all year, and it just gets real when it happens eventually. So we continue to rock along with our guys all testing negatively and doing a great job. But here we go again. So it's just an ongoing emphasis for us, and we just really can't get away from it, and we don't plan to. We just try to win each day. So it's interesting. So go ahead.
Osvita.
And didn't even mention the debates. Okay, so good.
Hey, Pete, every quarterback in the league presents a unique challenge. What kind of unique challenge does a guy like Patrick, who's been around for a lot of years?
Yeah, Ryan has been around for a lot of years, and it's really something to watch him play right now. He is on it. This is as good as he's ever looked to me, and he looks like he's playing on house money. He's just going for it. All phases, all aspects of his play. He's running well. He's challenging the line of scrimmage. We're trying to make first downs. His helmet got knocked off, a bit ago, and he got up laughing and smiling and all fired up. Making great throws. His receivers are doing a fantastic job. Very gutsy, just true veteran savvy working for him. And it looks like, I don't know if this is what it's like on their end, but it looks like everything kind of revolves around his play. And he knows how to manage the game, and it's really a sight to see. Not many guys this late in their career can function at such a high level, and so we're going to get challenged by him.
Jen?
Coach, you talked about stopping those long plays. I'm wondering, do you coach it differently or talk about it differently this week to try to get different results?
Well, we have to quit making the errors that come from the newness and the guys, not being out there together, and it's been sloppy at times, and the communication has not been as effective as it needs to be. We're trying, and we're working at it, and the principles are there and all that, but we've had a few breakdowns that we give a regular routine play access to the end zone. Just this is wrong. Getting beat over the top is a different story, but when the plays come across the field and we're in zone and they make touchdowns, that's not supposed to ever happen. So we have to be better. Try to recapture the emphasis of keeping the ball in front of us and with real, with a lot of intent here, and it's really important. We got to get this done. We got to slow guys down.
Joe Fan.
Just continuing off what you just said, is it a bit surprising that those mistakes are happening given the amount of veterans you have in your back seven?
Yeah, but we have been mixing safeties and mixing guys in and out a little bit more than we would like. And we haven't responded as well as we need to be really sharp and clean. And so it's just a challenge for us. Sometimes we look like we haven't been practicing a whole lot on the back end. So we have been. So we just have to do better. And I really can't imagine that we're not going to do this a whole lot better here in the coming weeks.
John Boyle.
Yeah, Pete. Tyler and Russell obviously connected 9 more times. I think they're up to 20-some this year. Just as you've coached both those guys over the years, have you seen that connection between them grow to where Russ is so comfortable going, third downs, big plays, things like that?
Yeah, well, they've been doing it for a long time. It's the last 3 years have been great years for those two guys. So this is just an extension of it. I don't know. 3 years ago, I think they had a perfect rating. So how can you do any better than that? So it's just a matter of continuing to work together and find the openings and the spacing, and the magic really happens after the play breaks down. There's the execution downfield on time and on rhythm, and that's one thing. But it's the other stuff that makes Tyler such an extraordinary player and separates him from anybody. And then of course the fact that Russ. I go back. I've said this before. I think to you guys that they're both such extraordinary natural athletes. They respond to situations similarly. And Tyler can do anything, play anything, shoot the hoops. He can do anything. And Russ is the same way. And all of that athleticism and natural sense and all that, it just seems to work together. And they see things the same often. And so they respond together often. And so it's just it's a magic that's really special and fun to see.
Corbin?
Hey, Pete, I know you couldn't answer this after the game because you hadn't seen the film yet, but I was curious what your overall impression was of Allen Robinson's debut as a run defender, rushing the passer, etc.
Yeah, he had a good day. He played really hard. He wasn't hesitant at all. He worked the edge well. In the run game, chase off the backside was good. His effort downfield, getting in on some hits, the big pressure that he had in the sack. He did really, really well. We're really excited that he showed up in his first real opportunity.
Bob Condotta?
Yeah, Pete, you mentioned the plays where you got beat over the top. Is there a specific teaching emphasis on those, or just guys got to win
Yes.
one-on-one battles there?
Yes. I mean, I don't know how many times I can answer the question. Yes, there is. We're working on it really hard. It's a terrible part of your game when you can't stop the deep ball. So we're on it.
And Jamal Adams, specific on injuries, any update on him and his availability this week at all?
Yeah, he's pretty sore. Just talked to him a little while ago. He's pretty sore right now, and we just keep going day to day and see what happens. He's massive treatments to try to accelerate the return and all that. He's doing like some of our guys do. I wouldn't put anything past him that he couldn't pull off. So at this point, he's working really hard at it, and we'll see what happens. We don't know enough to tell you about the weekend at this time.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, how have Carson, Posick, and Damian kind of bounced back?
All three of those guys were at the walkthrough today. They're all out there and participated in the full walkthrough. Chris is really sounding positive. Damian looked pretty good, and Posick was all right. So might get a real good turn from those three guys.
Tim?
I guess I'll add to the injury questions. What's the latest with Jordan Brooks?
He's limping a little bit today. He's pretty sore. It's going to be a real challenge for him to make it back as stiff as he is right now. So he got whacked pretty good, and so we'll have to wait and see, though.
And then you mentioned the Tennessee situation. What is your message, or do you even need to give a message to your team after they see what's going on?
No, we went all over it again. Gave them a COVID update so that they would know what happened and took place. Didn't talk specifically about what happened there, but the fact that it did happen. And then it takes one person. One person outside of the bubble can affect all of this, and so it's just a reminder. We need these reminders. We can't open up the restaurants and stuff. We can't do that. We got to stay with it and just stay after it and be diligent. And so the messaging from the top and the demonstration of the manner and how we operate from all of our coaches and the people that lead the guys and leadership on the team, everybody has to be participating. This is an ongoing, full-on onslaught for the next, 13, 14 weeks, whatever the heck it is. It's months of this. We have to do it. So, but we can't fall prey to human nature, and take these way out. We can't do that. We can't do that. We have to be stronger about it and more diligent and just not let up. So it's a relentless pursuit we're in to try to maintain the edge and hold on to it as long as we can.
Jackie?
Hi, Coach. Just curious what you see from Miami's run game and Miles Gaskin.
Miles is playing really good. He's pushed himself right to the front. He's the lead ball carrier. He's got twice as many carries as the next guy because the way he plays. He's their leading receiver, at about 15, 16 catches, something like that. He's playing really good football. He's tough, creative with the ball in his hands, makes special plays. And you can see why they've done a great job to just let the best guy out there go, and that fits their offense and their style, and he's that right now. So it's kind of fun that he's a UW guy and all that. So see if we can get him on the ground.
Greg?
Pete, you're going into details again about renewing the call about COVID protocols and safety. How much for your coaching staff has this been a balancing act between coaching, getting ready for games, and yet still having to maintain this part of it? Has it been difficult?
Well, really, Greg, my mind has been on this for so long. I mean, for so many months, well before we ever got back here, that it just seems like a continuation of the new. This is the way we operate, and this is the way we function. I think it'll be more of a reaction when it's over, if it is, someday down the road here, and we take a different turn. I mean, just been so actively involved with every aspect of everything we can think of, for so long that it's just part of it. It doesn't seem like it's detracted from our work. We found spaces between the spaces to figure it out and all of that, and so. I'm not griping about it. I mean, if I'm complaining about it, I'm, kicking my lip around about how these guys are going to be, So I've just been on the whole time and plan to be on until it's over. And, you're going to have to shake me, because we're tuned in. And it's the only way I think we can be. This is really the messaging just has to be so consistent and so strong and just, like I said, relentless.
Are you holding your breath, or is it beyond that? It's up to the guys, and they have to do what they have to do?
No. Yeah. There's a, every day. I mean, every night I get it. Now it's coming in at about 12:30. At night when we get the word that what the past day just showed testing wise, it used to be about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't missed one yet. So. It's a day-to-day. haul. And I'm not even complaining about it. This is just what it is. And so we're going to have a great attitude about it. I think attitude is a huge percentage of this. And that's why leadership is so important, and direction and system is so important. I mean, just take a sidebar for a second. Think if the whole country could have approached it like the NBA and Major League Baseball and football. I don't know how everybody else would approach it. But if you had approached it like this, we'd be in a much different state. Look, there's just been a handful of occurrences through the thousands and thousands and thousands of tests that have taken place. So there's a way to handle this. It ain't fun. It ain't, it's not what you want, but you can do it. And it just takes, a real, diligent mentality to get it done.
Art?
Pete, as you mentioned the debates, last night President Trump declined to renounce white supremacy, and things are inflamed anew. Have you thought about, or have you addressed the team yet, or will you address the team about this?
No, we're not addressing about particular issues from any of the political guys. We're not doing that. I mean, guys have to be able to think for themselves, and I don't want to be in any way shading their mentality in any direction. But we made reference to the debate. We showed them, for the guys that maybe didn't catch it last night, just kind of what it looked like, so they would have a sense for the, whatever that was, and so. I want our guys always to know what's going on and always to be up on what's happening as best we can, in whatever depth we can handle. And so we did address it, that it took place, and maybe there'll be more discourse. There has been some of the guys have talked about it some, and some of the instances and the things that took place and that were said and all that, but, we didn't address any of the specific issues.
Sure. Brady?
Hi, Pete. There's a lot of numbers that show how much success Russell has had over his career on deep balls, and he's obviously having the same success this year. What's been your view of that, both over his career and this season?
My view's been from over here on the side, looking at it do this and watching it freaking fly and go right to guys. He's amazing. There's something. One of the real aspects of the game that has always captured America and captured the fans is that ball flying so far in the air, and it comes down to some guy flying down the sidelines and makes a play on it. Russell is just a master at it, and I don't think he's any better at it than he used to be. He's always been great at it. This has just been a stat for him that he's owned for years. Great awareness and sense and spatial, savvy and all of that to create it, and then obviously the great physicals that has made it's a spectacle when he plays, so I've had as much fun watching as you guys, and I hope there's a bunch more.
And the role that the pass protection has played in that this year?
Yeah, the pass protection has been better. We really have protected better. Russ has got his base in underneath him, best he's had probably as I can remember. There's a couple runs when we were really on it. I don't know if it was 2015 or something like that when he was just killing it. He and Doug. When the protection really matched the opportunities, and he was killing it then, and had a remarkable run. This is a great start for us, and we have a long ways to go to get better and to coordinate all of the things that it takes to make sure that it functions for him. But we're off to a really good start, and what I've been pleased that some backup guys have had the chance to get in, and it hasn't changed, so Mike and BC are doing a great job with these guys, and they're making sure that they're where they need to be, and with conviction and power and strength and all the things, and then we're going to get better. I think we're going to continue to improve.
Thank you.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, I know you brought Demarius Randall onto the practice squad today. What can a 5-year vet like him, what would you like about him and bringing him into the process right now? And has Leno bounced back from his back issue from Sunday as well?
Leno has not fully bounced back, but he's looking towards playing this week. We'll see if he can make it through the week. Demarius is a guy we saw, through the process, Arizona State, back in the the draft times evaluations. We thought he was a really, really good athlete and all-around ball player, and had great speed. And he's had a solid playing career. The film that you watch of him is really strong, and makes a lot of plays and covers a lot of ground, makes a lot of tackles, and again he runs 4.3 something, so he has a great range back there. So for us to be able to pick him up under these circumstances, with guys being banged up and when there's some uncertainty here, that's a great job by John to figure that out and how to get him here and all that. So he looked good in workouts, and we'll see what happens as our needs present themselves this weekend.
Tim?
Yeah, one more injury thing, Pete. What's the latest with Clinton and his knee?
I just talked to Q. He's holding on to a good thought that he can get back this week, and we'll see what happens. He's improving in all of that. We won't know. He's not going to do anything today for the next couple of days. We'll just wait all the way till the weekend to see where he is, and so we'll be ready to play without him. But we're also looking forward to seeing if he can make it.
Michael Sean?
Another injury one. How's Nico doing?
Nico's trying to play this week. He's going to try to go for it. We'll see how he's doing. We got to buy as much time as possible with the groin thing, and so we'll see how he goes.
Greg?
Do you see Randall as a safety or a corner?
Safety. Yeah, he's played corner in his past, and he always felt like he was a safety, and felt like he's been at his best in his history. I mean, I see it that way too, watching the film and all that. He was so fast that everybody wanted to try him at corner. That was the thought. But he's most at home playing on the back end.
Bob?
Pete, you mentioned the pass protection. I was curious, Ethan Posick, what's the biggest thing you've seen out of him? I mean, 3 games, obviously, and going back to center. I know you said in the past that center maybe was kind of the position you felt he was most comfortable with, maybe, coming out of college?
Yes, yeah. Remember how versatile he was, because he started at all 3 positions in college, but he played the most of his time there and looked the best there. He's been really consistent. I mean, I'm thinking, he's made his calls, he's held up his end of it. He's been solid in the running game. Communication has been good. He's really off to a really good start, and I'm really fired up for him and for us. That was a big draft pick a while ago, and for him to come through now and start, as a starter and playing well, it's a really good thing for us. I'm really happy for him too.
Last question, Joe Fan.
Pete, what's holding Trey back? Is it maybe the mental side of things? It feels like there's times where he's in great position, but maybe doesn't trust his technique when the ball arrives.
No, I think he's just battling. He's getting some hard attempts, and he'll come through. He's been around the ball a lot. Unfortunately, a crazy play that he falls to go catch the ball and it bounces off his shoulder pad and it goes up and they catch it. That's kind of a lousy situation. But he's a tough competitor and he's battling and he's ready to go. So, I think not knowing whether he was playing is that always is harder on a guy. He's been a starter for a couple of years, and we let Quentin get a couple of starts to show us what he can do, and that doesn't always help you play better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But now that he's back in battling, I think he's going to turn a good corner here and play really sharp. No pun on the turn the corner thing. Nobody got it anyway. Art, just you and me. We're the only ones.
They're all muted.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Bobby Wagner's up.